All right, sir. Good evening, sir. Can you hear me now, sir?
We can hear you.
Okay, fantastic. Thank you very much. It's a pleasure to be here again. So I'll start from the first question, which is with the number of governors in APC, can is victory assured? Well, I wouldn't say victory is assured because the purpose of going to an election is for everyone to show their scorecard, campaign to the people. Even though the president has done well in certain areas, there are still areas for improvement. I think we would have to work very hard for victory because research has shown that the number of governors you have doesn't guarantee that a governor can deliver a state. In 2023 elections, we saw so many governors lose elections, vote for presidential and their own personal election. So if anyone relies on the fact that APC has 31 governors and that will guarantee victory, I think that person can be said to be an inexperienced person or a politician. So, be that as it may, I believe that victory is not assured, but with hard work, the APC can do very well, especially when the opposition is disunited. The only time an incumbent lost an election in Nigeria was when in 2015 when all the opposition um, figures came together to present President Muhammadu Buhari. But as it's looking now for 2027 election, it's very clear that we are going to have a three-horse race. And that alone portends that victory is almost certain for the APC if the opposition, if they are unable to come together to present a united force. But notwithstanding that, the APC has to work very hard because of the state of the economy to be able to win the election. But if we continue at the pace we are going, the APC will most likely win, not because of 31 number of governors, but because of the disunity in the opposing camp. So that's my answer to question one. Regarding question two, that the question is that some people we're having consensus in Lagos and Ogun State, and what does that portend? Is that the question? What does that portend? Okay, I think the politics in Lagos is very dynamic and is very different because I was hoping that one of the aspirants wouldn't step down. The SMA person, all the other governorship aspirants step down. But just yesterday, I read that the SMA Gold man has stepped down. So as it stands in Lagos State now, it's a clear consensus because all the aspirants who purchased forms step down, and the Electoral Act allows for that. The Electoral Act says that before you can have a consensus, all the aspirants who have been cleared must voluntarily support the consensus candidate. And as far as Lagos State is concerned for the governorship, it has been done in compliance with the Electoral Act. And to that extent, we can say if other states can emulate Lagos State, that would be good for internal democracy. But unfortunately, Ogun State too was able to achieve the same feat. But unfortunately, aside from Lagos and Ogun State, I'm not sure I'm aware of any other states where there has been a unanimity of endorsement in terms of the governorship election. So what it means is that perhaps because Lagos is very organized and Ogun State is also very close to Lagos State, so they are also very organized, they were able to achieve it. In a state like Oyo State, I'm not sure they are going to be able to achieve it. In a state like Kwara State, in a state like Osun State, where we did our primaries some months ago, that wasn't achieved. So it's going to be very difficult. The fact that Lagos was able to achieve consensus and Ogun State was able to achieve consensus, I don't think that shows that other states will be able to achieve consensus. And if you also look at the senatorial primaries that was done across all the states 2 days ago and the House of Rep primaries, you will see that it's like a bedlam. A lot of complaints, some people saying they are the winners, some people saying there was no election and all that. So I'm beginning to think that the consensus arrangement that was brought in, or I don't think it can go very far in our political climate. I think it's only in an organized system like in Lagos State, Ogun State, and a few other states where the leadership is very clear. That's where consensus arrangements can work. Because for consensus to thrive, everybody must agree that the candidate you have presented is the best candidate. In a state like Ogun State, yeah, he has been on ground for a while. He's a political veteran. He has the resources. He has the visibility. He has the outlook. So it was almost clear that he was going to get the ticket, even if they go through a free and fair primaries. Likewise, in Lagos State, in terms of experience, in terms of staying power, in terms of pedigree, Dr. Amzat is like the best out of the pack. He has the pedigree, he has the experience, he has the brilliance, he has the agility, he has the age on his side. No controversy whatsoever. I've never read any negative report, any scandal about him. So it's not unusual that he also was able to achieve consensus. But in a state like Oyo State, it's almost impossible. They are abusing each other, they are cursing each other, even though they are in the same party. So I believe that the consensus will not go very far in our political climate because Politicians tend to use consensus to cheat candidates. If they were going to bring in a candidate who wasn't as experienced as Amzat and say is a consensus candidate, there will have been crisis in Lagos State. So I think consensus only thrives when you bring the best candidates and everybody agrees and say, this man is the best. Let's give it to him. That's when consensus can try. But if you have a situation whereby somebody is trying to bring their godson or someone that swear to oath of declaration for them or oath of loyalty and you want to impose him on much more credible and competent candidates, then consensus will never work in that arrangement. So I don't see consensus lasting for very long. Eventually, we might have to amend our electoral act again to bring back indirect primaries. So we focused on direct or indirect primaries, but the days of consensus are fast gone as far as I'm concerned. That's my response, sir.